I'd like to show you a healthy meal that I make. And first of all, I'll just show you the ingredients. I get solid white albacore in water. And then I also get chunk light tuna in water. We got mayonnaise. And we got a white onion. We got a mixing bowl. And this is chopped spinach, frozen chopped spinach. And the first thing we'll do, we let this thaw naturally. I don't like to put it in a microwave oven or anything. Just kind of leave it out, and that's how you get the good texture. You just let it thaw naturally. Like so. You put it on something, towel or something like that. But anyway, we'll be ready to go in just a little bit. One thing you want to do, once maybe 10-15 minutes goes by in the thawing process of the spinach, you might want to chop it up a little bit, like so. And it helps it thaw a little better, plus it will help you disperse it into the tuna mix a little better, like so. And you separate it a little bit. And you got some nice chunks that you can use to make the mix with. Alright, first thing we'll do, we'll open up the solid white tuna here, and this happens to be a good can opener. But what I like to do, get all the water out of it as much as you can. Squeeze it, see? So it goes down the drain. So it makes for a better texture. And then what you do, you gotta be careful because these edges can be sharp, but you put it in the pan here, or the bowl I should say, and you start to chop it up. Dice it up real nice like this, so it'll make for a nice mix, but you don't want to leave too many big chunks. Dice it up. Okay, now I like to mix a white onion in with it. There was a time that we used peppers, like a green pepper. You can mix a red onion, yellow onion, whatever you want to do. I happen to like the white. So what we do, we dice this up like so. There's different devices you can use. I personally just use a hand knife here. You have to be a little careful, but it's not rocket science to do it or anything. Again, you have to be a little careful. But anyway, chop it up like so. Try not to get too much of the skin in it. But you put this in. Get a little bit more of the onion in it here in the first phase here. Chop this up. So then you mix this up with your first can of tuna. Mix it up really good. Now this is kind of a tricky part. You gotta let the spinach here thaw to a, not so it's like runny or anything, but you let it thaw so you can break it up nicely into the bowl. And so it can disperse and spread well when you mix it. But because we let it thaw just enough, depending on the room temperature, you want to let it thaw so you can just, so it's still a little bit, like it's kind of cold on my fingertips there to do this. But that's kind of what you want. Gets a little messy. That's why you have to have like paper towels and things ready. But then you mix this up along with the first can of tuna and the onion. You mix like so. All right, now at this point, we have that pot mixed fairly well. We'll put the second can. Now, this is not a solid. But see, so it's a little more water in there. And you got to get that out of it. It's a little messier. But see, it makes for a little better. It's a little bit cheaper than the solid. And it makes for a little better texture when you mix it. So, get the water out of there. And again, we have to be a little careful here because it's sharp. And then we mix this in with the bowl. And see, this makes for a nice, chop this up like so. We mix it up really well with the whole batch here. Makes for a nice, meaty, powerful, high protein, muscle building mix here. Very healthy. See, now we chop and dice, mix it well. And see, it's kind of still a little moist, but it's not soaking. It doesn't make for a sloppy mix. See, then you mix it like so, and it mixes in there real nice. The solid white tuna mixes with the chunk light tuna. You could put 2 of each, 2 solids or 2 chunk light, but I like to mix them both. It makes for a better texture and a better tasting overall mix. So once you have that mixed, then you repeat the same steps with the onion and the spinach, which we'll show you here in a minute. Okay, so what you did cut up with the first batch of onion there, you finish the onion off here by dicing this up. Like I say, there's commercial dicers and things you can use. I prefer just to use a knife here, but you know, if you have a better way of doing it, go ahead, as long as it's chopped up nicely and you don't have huge chunks of it. Okay. Anyway, and again, you can use a pepper. I prefer a white onion. You can use probably a tomato if you wanted. You can use any kind, but I prefer for this purpose, it's the onion and the spinach mixed with the tuna. That's what this recipe is about. See how that mixes really, really nice in there. Like so. There. That looks good, doesn't it? All right. Now we go finish off with what's left of your spinach here. Remember, it's chopped spinach, chopped frozen spinach, not leaf spinach, but chopped frozen spinach. And you let it thaw, but you don't let it thaw too much. You don't want it to be dripping water. You just want it to be so you can break it up nicely. And like I say, it's cold. There's still a little bit of frozen in there, if you can see that. Still a little bit of frozen material in there, but it breaks up nicely. Like again, you don't want it runny. A little messy, but that's okay. That's what you clean up the kitchen for afterwards, and that's why you have paper towels and so forth to clean up with. But you don't have a watery mess. That's the thing. It's all fairly ice dry. And then you mix this like so. And might take a little while, but you want to disperse it. Sometimes you have chunks of the spinach in there, but you can kind of chop it up so that it disperses nicely. All right, now to make this so it spreads nicely and kind of holds it together a little bit, I put mayo. I know mayo is not the healthiest condiment you can use, but with everything else in there being a healthy ingredient, I think we'll kind of overlook that because it does give it some flavor and some good taste to it. So what you do, you mix in the mayo, and that gives it, like I say, it kind of bonds it a little bit so you don't have chunks falling all over the place. You can spread it on bread. You can spread it on rolls. I happen to reduce the bread in my diet as I get older and whatnot. And I eat this just out of a bowl. Like, see that texture? That is beautiful. And you can like scoop it with a spoon. Look at that. That is beautiful. Doesn't that? If you're hungry out there, I bet you want to jump right through the screen and eat this. I know I'm going to eat it here shortly. But anyway, see how that mixes real nice. See that? Look at that. Look at that. That is beautiful. Now, anyway, see, now here's the payoff. Look at this. Tastes good. Try it. It's really good. What I do, now what you can do, this lasts about, I put it into a bowl, and it'll last about a week in the fridge. It'll stay fresh, about a week in the fridge. And for me, this makes about 3 good meals. So, any of you out there that meal prep or anything, you only make this once. It takes about 20 minutes or so to make it. Once you let the spinach thaw, it only takes about 20 minutes. It's really not that big of a mess to make or anything. You don't have to cook anything. And there it is. And, whoop, a little bit more left in the bowl there. You just got to rinse this out when you're done and wash everything. But check this out. There's 3 meals right there of a really powerful, healthy, kind of a cool mix. Anyway, there's my tuna mix.